What is up, my fellow dog mob canines? This is Agent Mad Dog here, telling you the important things that I want to see in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Basically, I'm just going to list off the top 10 things I want to see in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Omega Sapphire. I'll do this in about 3 different sections. First section will be things I want from previous remakes. Second portion would be things from X and Y, and the last portion will be things from Hoenn. Anyways, enough chit chat and let's get down to the hardcore basics. Anyways, first off, first thing I would love to see in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Omega Alpha Sapphire, my bad, would be to actually see the return of the following Pokemon. Yes, just like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and just like Pokemon Yellow, we would have our lovely Pokemon, whoever is in the first position, to follow us throughout our journey as we go along in our world of Hoenn. I just thought that this would be an excellent return back to, old games homage, and, actually be able to, enjoy the fact that your Pokemon follows you throughout most of the game. I don't know, something about the Pokemon following you behind you just makes the game much more enjoyable. Anyways, second on our list is actually a very interesting topic that I found on the internet. In fact, I did not realize this until much later on. Well, basically what it is since every single remake has had an Pokemon toy accessory with the packaging. For example, in Fire Red, Leaf Green, we had the wireless adapter. In Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, we had the Pokewalker. Well, anyways, basically the idea of this one is that because each of those games have had a Pokemon toy accessory along with them, then Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire would have something along with the lines of that too. What that toy would be, even I don't know. Anyways, my suggestion to you would be to list out any possible solutions that you may have in the comments section, and maybe tell me which ones you'd like to have the most. I may even make a video and feature all those suggestions that you have or ideas and make it into one big movie. But anyways, that's on to the next topic. Next on our list is actually added areas to the original games. For example, like in the Heart Gold Soul Silver, in the Johto region, the routes 47 and 48 were added to the game, thus enabling people to access a Pokemon Safari for the first time in the Johto region. Another example, in Fire Red and Leaf Green, basically the Sevi Islands were added to the game, allowing people to access the Pokemon from the Johto region. So you may ask, what is my suggestion for the added region to the Hoenn region? My suggestion is to go completely out of the box and enable people to go visit the Orange Islands. Adding the Orange Islands to the game will not only add in a big, in-depth after story by adding, possibly up to 4 gyms, just like the anime had, but yet it will also give players, access to other region Pokemon, such as, the Kanto region Pokemon, which we probably have no access to at this time, considering that Hoenn and Kanto were the only 2 regions represented in Generation 3, which was Game Boy Advance generation. So, in order to do this, my suggestion for Nintendo, go with the Orange Islands. Surprise us. Give us something, that's worthwhile in our after story. Do something right for once. Next, we have stuff from X and Y, and to stop off our list, we have Mega Evolutions. Yes, I was hoping that, with the addition of X and Y, Hoenn region will bring, with Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, Mega Evolutions. Hopefully we see Mega Evolutions of at least, the starter Pokemon, and heck, maybe we even see a Mega Evolution of the Legendaries. Who knows? Anything's possible with Mega Evolutions, folks. Next is the online connectivity that X and Y featured. X and Y nailed the home run ball by adding so many features to the Wi-Fi and internet capabilities. Basically adding the ability to challenge your friends to Pokemon battles without having to use the normal PokePal pad, as in features in other games. That really was a pain in the butt, to be honest. Also, with the GTS features that were added to Pokemon X and Y, including the ability to actually search for a Pokemon name instead of having to have it in your Pokédex entry, that was a great addition to the game, and I hope they come back with it in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Additionally, hopefully some of the features with Pokemon Bank will be added, and thus enabling us to trade back our Pokemon to Pokemon X and Y without having to do that much backwards compatibility. Considering Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby are basically the Hoenn region, which is already added to the X and Y Pokédex, there will be no problems in cross-feeding with other games. So, Pokemon Bank's options should be pretty much open for the new edition of these games. Hopefully with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, we'll get rid of that bland old looking background in the battles. Oh god, that makes me sick. Next are 3D cutscenes and important areas. Basically, imagine with the possibilities of the 3D capabilities of the 3DS. Imagine areas such as Sootopolis City, and also Mount Chimney, as well as even the waterfall right before Evergrande City. Imagine all three of those areas in 3D. Just imagine for a moment. Just imagine the possibilities. And imagine the cutscenes like Awakening of Rayquaza in full 3D. Imagine it. I hope you get your mind jump started on this. Watch this cutscene for Pokemon Emerald and imagine it's in 3D. Next up is things from Hoenn, and first up is the HM Dive. Yes, the re-inclusion of the HM Dive would be an essential part to the Hoenn region, considering most parts are only accessible through the use of HM Dive. Now, HM Dive was reintroduced back in Generation 5 with the Undella Bay, but still, even back then, that was still considered revolutionary for graphics-wise, for the use of HM Dive. As we saw with Generation 5, HM Dive did include pretty much some revolutionary ideas, with the 3D rendering. So, imagine places like this, and also this, in 3D. Next is the ability to capture all legendaries within the Hoenn region. Now, of course, the inclusion of the Weather Trio is obviously a must for the Hoenn region. But like Emerald, hopefully Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire have the ability to capture all three of them. So places like the Underwater Cavern, the Terra Cave, and also the Sky Pillar must be added to the game and have those respectable Weather Trio members in the game at those areas, just like Emerald is. And hopefully places like the Island Cave, the Ancient Tomb, and the Desert Ruins all contain Pokemon that featuring the Regis of Hoenn. And who knows, maybe places like, for example, the Southern Island may be accessible within the game as well through the use of patches and updates that are sent through the Wi-Fi connection of Nintendo. Next on my list of things that need to be added from the Hoenn region are Pokemon contests. Imagine the possibilities to use new moves in Pokemon contests that were featured in Generations 5 and 6 in Pokemon contests of yesterday. Even I know this will provide endless hours of after-game play to the game that sometimes will be more fun than possibly doing whatever else you may do. Plus, with new berries added in Pokemon Generations 5 and 6, it also allows the different possibilities of berry blending combinations you can possibly do, providing even more endless hours of fun. And last but not least on our list of things that need to be added to Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is the Battle Frontier. Back in Pokemon Emerald version, I had spent numerous hours at this Battle Frontier facility that no other person may have even done. I remember vividly the Battle Dome, most importantly, because it was so awesome to be there because of the tournament formats that I have never seen in a game before. Now, I know some other people may have other fan favorites, such as the Pokemon Tower, for example, but needless to say, everybody has their own favorite parts of the Battle Frontier, and everybody has played through the Battle Frontier at least once. Knowing that this addition to the game will be a huge game seller to the boosting of the sales of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, thus being a win-win combination for Nintendo and Game Freak as well as the Pokemon Company. So, what are your thoughts on my ideas to be additions to the games of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? Give me your thoughts under the comment section, and make sure to leave that like or dislike depending on which way you typically took the video in. You know, if you liked the video, then give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. I don't care. It helps me anyways. So once again, thank you all very much for coming, guys, and watching this video. Remember, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, add me on Skype, subscribe to me on YouTube, and share the stream. Once again, guys, thank you very much for watching this important episode of my Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire series, and I shall see you in the next episode. Have a good one, guys.